It is the season when people are starting to think about coming back to Purdue. We have students and staff, professors, administrators of Purdue University that are coming to campus for the first time. Maybe they've gotten a job over the summer or a new appointment for the year and they're moving here. Maybe they're students, whether they're undergrads or grad students or master's students who are looking here for the long term, and they don't want to live in university housing. Certainly, if you're a professor or an administrator, you don't want to live in a university housing. But if you're a student that perhaps doesn't want to live in university housing and you know you're going to be here for a long time, it can make sense to invest in a home. So a pretty common refrain that we hear in this season, here in kind of the middle of summer, is I want to be close to Purdue University. And, by close, a lot of people mean walking distance. And the reality is that there's not much that is actual walking distance to Purdue University. There's kind of New Chauncey, just to the east. And then there's a couple of neighborhoods that are just to the north, but those ones to the north, they're about a mile or so to Mackey. And then, Mackey, of course, is kind of the north end of campus. So if you're working in an engineering building, that might be close enough for you. But, if you're in a vet med building down on the south end of campus, that's certainly not a walkable distance. But there's not generally, a whole lot out there that's available walking distance to Purdue. So I thought that we today would look at 3 homes close to Purdue and talk about the pluses and minuses of each one. So let's get started here with 817 North Chauncey. So it does not get closer to Purdue University than anything in New Chauncey and on Chauncey specifically. So this is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath home. Let's give a little context to just where New Chauncey is. So here's the map. I'm trying to get myself centered on all the screens here. So here's the map. Here we are looking at the address right here. And I'm just going to zoom out one click. And there we are. There's Northwestern Avenue, the engineering fountain. It is that close to Purdue University. Zoom out one more. You can see there's Ross-Ade and Mackey Arena down here. So it does not get closer than that. Let's do this. I think. Nope. Let's see if I can get directions out of this. I don't think I can. No. All right. Well, I'll stop fighting. There is the aerial view. So this is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, $375,000. 1,800 square feet above ground with another 676 square feet in the basement, built in 1928. So let's take a look here and let's see what you're getting for that $370,000. So there's a shot. Chauncey is a lovely tree-lined street. It's kind of that quintessential old college town feel to it. The homes and the community that they've built around this neighborhood is just it's just that stereotypical neighborhood experience. You got the lovely screened-in porch. The front living room with the brick fireplace. Love the wooden banister on the stairs and the oak paneled door with the lights above. A reverse view of that. There is the dining room and kitchen, and you can see where it is in relation to where the dining room is in relation to the kitchen and living room there. It's got this sliding glass door out to the back deck. The downstairs bathroom. Just going to zip through some of these. There's our kitchen. I believe we were looking at the eat-in side of the kitchen there on the reverse. There's a close-up view of that entryway. One of the bedrooms upstairs. And another. You'll notice the carpeting. And that's something that's pretty common in homes in these neighborhoods, that they are of a certain vintage and they evoke that. Then the upstairs bathroom. So this one doesn't have an ensuite in the primary. It just has 2 baths, one up and one down. And again, something indicative of the age of the homes. You know, they kind of predated the commonality of ensuites. Love the shutters on the interior of the windows. I believe this is the primary that we're looking at here. And of course, you have your laundry room. And the basement has tons of extra space in it. Unfinished storage at the moment, but you could certainly make something of this basement if you wanted to. It's double-sided. Plenty of room down there. You can see the utilities. And then the lovely back deck. And this is just really the epitome of the illustration of what this neighborhood is like and what it looks like. Lovely, tree-lined, shady. Now, it doesn't have an attached garage. It has the single-car detached garage. Again, a fairly common thing in this kind of neighborhood. And we're looking at the back there. There you can see the full width of the back of the house. And then we'll pop into the drawings here. So you'll see, we'll come into the screened-in porch, living room, dining room with the kitchen. And I said it was eat-in, but there's the breakfast nook with the downstairs bath. And then we'll go to the upstairs view. And we'll see there are the 4 bedrooms, 1, 2, 3, and 4 with the 1 bath. So there you go, 2 baths in this house, no primary bath, no ensuite bath. And then in the basement, 2 large rooms and then a little walled off storage area. So that is what you get for $375,000. It just came on the market today, July 15th. How long do you think it's going to take this house to sell? Any guesses? Toss it in the chat how long you think this one's going to take to sell. Keep in mind the distance to Purdue. And while you're throwing those guesses in the chat, and they're starting to come in, 817 North Chauncey. I'm going to pull up a Google map here. And we're going to go directions from Chauncey to Neil Armstrong Hall of Engineering. And we're going to go, I want walking. It is a 3-minute drive. Let's go walking directions. And pop that back up here. 14 minutes, 0.6 miles. I see some guesses all over the place. A few days, 4 days, 2 weeks, a week. No, you're all wrong. Every one of you is wrong. It's going to take, sit down, 2 days. My prediction is it will take 2 days to sell this house. And I could be wrong by 100% because it might take 1 day. The median days on market in West Lafayette are 2. And this is the most high demand area of West Lafayette. Heck, this went on sale this morning. They probably have an offer in hand already if I were a betting man. I don't know. I'm just guessing, but there you go. I mean, it doesn't get closer to Purdue University for a single-family home that isn't a student rental, really, than Chauncey. So that's number 1. Do you think that that is worth the money? Is that worth $375,000? Yes? No? Maybe? Well, as you're dropping those answers in the chat, I think that's a bargain of a deal at half the price, at twice the price, really. I'm exaggerating a little bit. I'm not suggesting that it should go for $700,000, but it definitely feels like there's a little bit of juice left to squeeze in that price there. That the demand for being close to Purdue University is that strong that even in a home that has maybe no ensuite bath, that maybe needs a little bit of renovation, that maybe needs some carpet pulled up and some flooring done, even with those, I think that the location is going to be so strong that it's not going to matter. So that's as close as you get to Purdue University. Number 2, we're going to look at 500 Robinson Street. let's pop this into the Google map real quick. So 500 Robinson Street is just a smidge further than our one on Chauncey was. Let's pop that up. Let's go here. 500 Robinson Street, a little further east, and it's a straight line walk basically to Armstrong, 0.7 miles, so a tenth of a mile further. I've driven that street many times just in my time here, and it might feel a little further than that, but definitely under a mile. And just for funsies, 3 minutes is the drive time. Not that you could park there, because parking is definitely an issue at Purdue University. So 500 Robinson Street. Let's have a look at the details on that one. So it is 4 bedrooms, 3.5 bath. So it has 1.5 bath more than Chauncey did. And it is 1,700 above ground square feet and 200 in the basement. So 1,900 total square feet for a grand total of 1824. So our total above ground 18 plus, I mean, the basement was unfinished in the other one. So it was 2,400 total in the other one on Chauncey. This one, 17, about 21. So similar-ish in size. This one's just a tad smaller. You think it's going to be more expensive or less expensive than Chauncey? Chauncey was $375. So we're talking about basically the same house, just a little more bathroom and a slightly different configuration on the basement. I should point out that the Chauncey one is subject to historic preservation commissions. If that is something of concern to you, they get a say in, the exterior of your house, colors and finishes and that sort of thing. So that's something to keep in mind. Let's take a look at 500 Robinson. So let me pop the pictures up here. Here we go. Definitely has some charm and character outside. Kind of speaks to me, but that's kind of my flavor, my color palette, the earth tone, the green earth tones with the wood beams, but it's got the wood surround in the fireplace, and this might be, that's like a wood stove in there, perhaps. Some sort of wood stove insert. Yeah. Instead of the brick that we had at Chauncey. Love the wood surrounds on the windows. Definitely gives it character. Got a mini split in there. This little guy hanging up here on the wall is a mini split air conditioner. This is where you're adding air conditioning to a room but not having to run ductwork to it. So that room probably gets a little warm with all the windows in it. Oh, there's also, is that what we were looking at? There's another one in the kitchen. Love the tile in the kitchen, the wood fronts, the wood cabinet doors. Yeah, I think that is the kitchen. Okay. So if it does get too hot in the kitchen, you can turn the air conditioner on. Got the ivory wainscoting there. That's a lovely kitchen. This one has a gas range. Chauncey was electric, so if you're picky about that, some people have a preference one way or the other. Sometimes it's dictated by where you live. Sometimes you have a choice. And we get into one of the baths. And the staircase. Some slightly older tile work there in the shower, but, definitely lots of wood trim in this home. Needs a little bit of work in the closet there, but nothing obscene by any means. Got the electric floorboard heater in this one, so that says to me that the room might get a little bit chilly, but it's got these windows in the hip roof there, so that's kind of understandable. The built-in storage. more electric baseboard heaters. I'm personally not a giant fan of those, but that's just me. I feel like you have to be a little more careful around them, which is a little more difficult when you have young kids at home. That's my biggest issue with those. Not sure what's going on with that hose in the laundry room. I don't know if you trace it back, I see a green hose going up here. I thought maybe it was the drain hose for the washing machine, but it's really kind of hard to tell. Maybe it's something, maybe it's nothing. But if it's nothing, it probably should have been removed from the pictures before they were taken. Got the detached garage on this one, but it still has the portico covered pass-through there. And, so it's still kind of semi-connected to the home as opposed to Chauncey that was completely disconnected out there in the backyard. Covered patio here. Yeah, and there's the other end of that mini split air conditioner that I was talking about there. The compressor for it hanging out on the back wall. The area view. So it is a corner lot. It's got that going for it perhaps. And, like some corner lots sit all the way forward at the corner so that you have lots of backyard. This one sits fairly far back, but you still get some backyard with it. And you see, that's how close we are to the Wabash. Now, when this picture was taken, the Wabash was a little high. All right, so that is 500 Robinson Street. So we've looked at one on Robinson, and we have looked at one on Chauncey. The one on Chauncey was $375,000. The one on Robinson, a little pricier, $395,900, so $396,000. So we're pushing that $400,000 mark. What do you think? Is that a fair price? I think that's a very fair price. I mean, I thought when I was first pulling these up to see what was available, it felt like Robinson was a little further away than Chauncey, but it's only 1/10 of a mile further. So really it's not. And I think what you're getting for your money at both of them is well worth it. At Chauncey, you're getting that North Chauncey neighborhood. There is just this certain je ne sais quoi about that neighborhood. And over on Robinson, the space and the features and the layout of that house really are kind of interesting. I think you're getting money's worth at both. So let's go to number 3. And these are the 3 closest that are available today. Anything else is basically outside of the 1 mile walking mark. So next we're going to look at 1401 Woodland Avenue. And we're going to start with looking at the map. So here it is, and I've already pulled up the walking directions. It is 0.9 miles, 22-minute walk to Armstrong. So, in the spring and fall, that's probably not too bad. Northwestern up at this end is a fairly busy street, so, you might want to think about that. I don't know if you can cut through people's yards here to shorten that little bit there at all, but it is a little bit further. It is 1 mile. For driving, it is 3 minutes, but again, if you're a staff member, that's one thing. You can park over here in the Northwestern garage, but if you're a student, you're not going to be in the commuting zone for that, so that is definitely going to be a walk. Let's pop into the satellite view and kind of just zoom in. I don't want to give away too much about the house yet, but here we go, 1401 Woodland, and we can see that it pops out right here. And it actually backs up onto Samara, which is the Frank Lloyd Wright house here in Lafayette. So I'm going to go with you can't walk through the neighbor's backyard to get over here, because that's Samara. That's a pretty big deal. If you know anything about architecture, Frank Lloyd Wright is an American classic, and his homes are cherished as mementos of the creator himself, and they operate as museums. So yeah, popping through that backyard, that ain't gonna happen. So you're definitely gonna have to go around in the way that Google says you're gonna have to go. Sometimes Google knows what they're talking about, and this seems to be one of them. All right, so 1401 Woodland. I think I've probably buried the lead a little bit here. It's right next door to Samara, Frank Lloyd Wright House. So this is a 4-bedroom, 4.5 bath. So Robinson had 3.5 baths. So this one has one more bath. It is, sit down for this, 4,528 square feet. So it's about 2,000 to 2,500 more square feet than our first two examples. It was built in 1960. Before we look at the pictures, how much do you think? So Chauncey was $375. Robinson was $395.9. For a house that is that much bigger, has one more bath, and is right next door to Samara, how much is that going to cost? Drop your guesses in the chat. Let's see if anybody can get this before we actually start looking at it. I just want to know what you guys might think of that. And I haven't pulled up any comps on this yet to see, what other houses right around it, because it kind of sits on a cul-de-sac. So there are 3-4 neighbors to Samara, as it were, just because of the way that the circle works. There's, the neighbor next to it, and there's 2 or 3 neighbors behind. So it's a little hard to tell what the comps look like. Yeah, I've seen some guesses. Yeah, it's more. It's definitely more. It is currently listed at $995. $5,000 short of $1 million. We're going to look at the pictures and we can get some more opinions on if we think it is worth that or not. Does anybody remember how many days on market I said was median in West Lafayette? It was 2. This one has been on the market for 46 days. It's been approaching 7 weeks. Now, is that a testament to the house is overpriced? It could be. Or is it a testament to the price is correct, but you have to wait for the right buyer to come along with that cool $1 million to really afford the house? My guess is that it is the second of those. Being where it's at, the $995 might be a smidge high, but let's have a look. All right, let's pull the pictures up here. And here we go. Let's get rid of this and we'll have a look. So we got the lovely wooded. I mean, it's got that. It's kind of got. I had to when I first found this one, I had to go and check the address and make sure it wasn't Samara. I mean, I know it's not, but it's just so between the price and the first picture, it has that same kind of prairie architecture feel that's evocative of Frank Lloyd Wright. Look at that lovely stone brick paver patio. And the Zen garden. I mean, that's evocative of falling water. Doesn't get more Frank Lloyd Wright than that, right? Oh, come on, that's funny. You know it's funny. We haven't even gone inside yet. Also kind of evocative of Japanese tea gardens, the way that the screen, I don't think these are screened in porches, but the way that the architecture sticks out here and gives that feeling of the sliding shoji panels. Look at that front door. Look at that leaded glass front door. That is a statement piece there. You walk in, and in the kitchen, there's this gigantic breakfast bar. Doesn't even begin to cover it. Just gigantic counter, bar, dining table area. It's huge. It even has the microwave built into it. Yeah, and this panel over here on the wall, tell me that's not evocative of a Japanese shoji panel. With the rice paper and the wood outline. I mean, just the detail and love in that kitchen. Yeah, the cabinets look a little dated, need a little bit of love, but it's got even the wood finish on the refrigerator there. You've got the pass-through from the kitchen into this area here. Not sure if we're in the dining room or the living room here. It's the living area. You got the fireplace in the corner and the other corner being the window walls. Look at that. I mean, I suppose it might be a dining area too. I would call this maybe an office, breakfast nook, another dining area. It's hard to tell without walking through and seeing how everything relates to each other. Just kind of making things up as we go here. One of the more interesting bathrooms that we've looked at lately. See what your $1 million gets you? The exposed rafter look of the room. That's an architectural feature. Look at that. Look at that chimney with the copper cladding on it. Really a statement piece there. Offset with the white brick. The inside of the leaded glass doors. Built-in desk. I mean, this would probably be a craft room. Got some storage here. Lots of big, open, airy space in this one. No surprise with this style of architecture. Is anybody else surprised by this? I mean, after seeing the front, did you expect it would look like this on the inside? The closet. That's a closet. I was going to say oh so slightly dated bathrooms, but I don't think that's the case. I think that I've just gotten used to seeing, modern cookie cutter production bathrooms with the giant soaker tubs and the rain head showers. And this is that. I think it's just the fit and finish is a little bit different. Yeah, this might be the cheapest feeling part of it. I'm not saying it is cheap, but I mean the rest of the fit and finish, I think it's just of the style. Yeah, that vanity is beautiful. Those sliding doors with the intricate scrollwork pattern on them. A couple of sunlights. Yeah, and look at that deck with the corner-facing sliding door. And back to the outside with the Japanese-style Zen garden. So what do you think? That was number 3. So those are the 3 homes that are currently on the market closest to Purdue University. So you have 817 North Chauncey Avenue for $375. Then there's 500 Robinson Street for $395.9. And then there's 1401 Woodland Avenue for $995. Which one are you buying? What's your preference? I tell you what, I love the style of the third one. The price tag, maybe not so much, but the style, yes. Remember, if you're interested in any of these, I'm your local Lafayette real estate resource of choice. I'd love to help you buy any of these 3 homes or any home here in the Lafayette area that you need help with. Please reach out to me. My contact information is here on the graphic right below. My phone and email are both there. And if you scan the QR code right there, you scan, I'll change hands, scan this QR code, it'll load all my information up for you auto-magically. So give me a call, shoot me a text. Let's talk about what your needs are. If you're coming to Purdue University, if you want to live a little closer to Purdue, if you're interested in selling or buying here in the area.